Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mark Searns from Vile Genius Games. Here with me is
Brad Culbertson, game design.
Okay, we're here to explain to you about Tales from the Tavern, Legends of Goblins Past.
You take on the role as a bard inside a traveling tavern. You stop by to share the tales of a long-forgotten hero, in this case, the diminutive goblins of Legends Past. Your game board has several storylines. The first storyline is about the random encounters your hero has to overcome. Second storyline is the artifacts he or she must solve or recover. The third storyline is trickery, where he or she encounters traps or some other kind of mishaps. And then mischief are random encounters, random things that happen to your hero, pitfalls, and other dastardly deeds that are done to your hero or heroine. The sections are divided into three different categories. The first is the hook, which is the good story starter. You as the bard need to draw your audience in with a strong hook to your storyline. The second section is the rising action, building that tension for a good story or preparing for the punchline of a quality joke. The third section is the climax section. The climax either sells the joke, resolves the action, does something to finish that story out. On the end, you'll see that it has a column for epics. The epics are your reward for completing the story. It gives some kind of embellishment to the story, extra details, unbelievable turns of events, and those are worth extra points as you finish the game.
All right, so when you go to set up Tales from the Tavern, Legends of Goblins Past, the first thing you do is you pick a goblin. You can either do it, you look at the goblins, you pick them out, or you can do them blind drawing, or you just deal the cards out as you see fit. All the goblins will have a special ability on the goblins, and we do have the goblins are each sexed a specific way, either male or female. It can be pertinent later on in the game, as we explain. Once you take your goblin, you place them on the storyboard, right in the green area there, face up, so everybody can see the ability that your goblin has. Once you do that, the next thing you do is you choose your bardic talent. Everybody gets 2 bardic talents. They get to choose one. The bardic talents are an extra win condition or extra points at the end of the game that can help you score higher. So you take a look at the ones you have, put one down in front of you, and then you put the other one in. These then get shuffled when everybody picks them out.
Keep it secret.
Yes, you tell somebody what it is, they could mess up your bardic talent on purpose. Gold is very important in a game. You start off with 5 gold. You want to make sure that you keep your gold plentiful, because as things go along, if you ever run out of gold, one of your actions will have to be to beg for gold. So gold management is very important.
As we said before, each of those sections on your storyboard, each storyline requires a certain card. On each of the lore cards, you'll see icons. The icon in the center will tell you which storyline the card fits in: encounters, artifacts, trickery, or mischief. They are color-coded. The icons also match for anybody that may be colorblind. On each side, you'll see 2 other icons. One will demonstrate or tell you which of the 4 columns it goes in: the hook, the rising action, or the climax. The epics are the special gold lore cards that you'll see in a minute. On the other side, you'll see the lore score and the drama or tragedy icon. Drama and tragedy come into play for some of the bardic talents. They may also help you win or lose depending on those requirements at the end of the game. Beside the drama icon or the comedy icon, you'll also see a lore score, a value of either 1 to 3 on those cards. Those are the actual lore points that are calculated for victory at the end of the game. Each story card or lore card comes with text to help you complete your story. This one reads, "Our hero found himself buried beneath the fallen rocks." That's a hook, as indicated by the icon, and it would go into the trickery slot. So trickery and hook, I find where that space is, and I fill that space on my storyboard. I am working to complete my storylines. As I complete each storyline, I gain an epic embellishment card, these nice gold shinies. The gold shinies are worth 5 victory points at the end of the game, so they're very valuable. It's very important to try to finish your storylines.
Also, when you complete a storyline, you get 1 gold from the tavern for telling a great story. you also get a new bardic talent, so you can actually get multiple bardic talents throughout the game. Now, everybody starts off with 5 of the lore cards at the start of the game. Okay. And then you take a look at your lore cards to see what they are. Now, the only thing that's different from the lore cards would be the interrupt cards, and they force you to take a drink. So, the importance of these cards is that if I were to go to place this, imagine if we would, I was going to complete the storyline, and Brad did not want me to complete my storyline. He plays this card on me, it forces me to buy a drink, and which means I have to pay a gold to buy a drink. And then he says, too much liquor has slurred your words, amateur.
Chug-a-lug, sucker.
So be forced to take a drink. Now, if these cards, they cover up the previous card that was played. So what's important is that if these cards are not covered up later on by yourself, like I could play another one right on top of it if I had the ability to do so, and we can keep moving forward. But if there's ever one of these left up at the end of the game, this actually says -1. It actually costs you -1 point on your storyboard, so it's kind of important to do that. You can only be interrupted once per turn.
It also prevents the completion of a storyline, so even if Mark had the other 2 spaces filled, he would not get his epic embellishment until he completed that storyline with another card to replace the interrupt.
All right. So,
each round is marked by a candle card, and the candle burns long as the game goes on. Some of the candle cards will have flavor text that change the conditions of play. For example, this one says that hook cards played during this turn yield 1 coin. So if I were to play a hook card during this turn, during my play, I could play the hook card. I would receive 1 coin, which is extra gold for me, for doing so. Gold coins yield victory points at the end of the game, 1 for every 2 coins. And they also allow you to not have to beg by running out of coins. So they save you actions later on in the game. Some of these yield higher scores for certain cards, some of them prevent certain plays, and they're randomized at the beginning of each game. So 1 out of every 4 first round cards would affect gameplay. 1 out of every 4 second round cards would affect gameplay. So there's a chance that something may happen, chance that something might not happen. It's all randomized, increasing the replayability of each game.
You can do 1 of 4 actions twice per turn. So, or do the same action twice if you really want to. You can place a card on your storyboard. You can draw 2 cards. Beg for gold if you have 5 gold or less. Pay 1 gold and get a new bardic talent. Again, you could play 2 cards, you could draw 4 cards, you could pay 2 golds to get 2 bardic talents, or you can beg for gold twice. Oh, one more important thing to do. Once per round for free, you can pitch 2 cards and draw 1 either from the top of the deck or from the discard pile. So sometimes pitching those important cards, you might want to be a little bit more strategic than just throwing anything away, because I might throw away something that Brad needs to complete an epic storyline. All right? The person that goes first is the one that most recently embellished a story. Hey, Brad. So we're going to go ahead and play through a game real quick, just to give you an idea of how the game goes. Pretty fast-paced game. So,
since I embellish more often than Mark does, not true. I get to go first. Since our first round card says that hook cards yield a gold, I'm going to begin play with a hook card for my encounter storyline that says the hulking, short-tempered Cyclops. So my first of 2 actions is to play a card to my storyboard. It yields 1 gold. I add that to my gold stash. My second card for my actions, I'm going to play another hook card since I have 2 in my hand. This one I'll add to my trickery storyline, and it says, our hero found himself buried beneath the fallen rocks. Also yielding 1 gold because of the round marker card for our candle that adds that ability for this round.
All right. Brad's turn is done. It's now my turn. I will also play a hook card in my mischief storyline. Thrusting into darkness, Her blade found the leg of an ally. All right. For my second action, I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. And you can draw from any pile that you want to. All right, so it's Brad's turn now. We now flip over the next candle card, and we have another ability. Snake Eyes. All expenses are doubled this round.
Now that means if I have to pay for a drink, it costs me 2 coins. If I choose to buy a Bardic Talent card, it costs me 2 coins.